Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you, wherever in the world you are. Welcome to TFH. Today is the Wednesday's installment of it. It's Wednesday the 17th of June, and we're fast approaching the end of the month again. Guys, today is all about updates. Today, you know, like I always say, it is a news platform, and I can't just focus on one thing alone if we are to remain a proper platform. So today I want to bring you guys up to speed with vaccine. I told you guys I will keep you up to date with the vaccine, and I'm keeping my word to that. There's been a couple of updates on that. So without further ado, guys, let's get to it. Right. If you remember, guys, back in May, beginning of May, end of April, I informed you guys about Moderna. I also told you guys about the Oxford trials. And at the moment, they are way ahead of the rest. Oxford sort of just zoomed and caught up. Moderna was already doing trials at the time. If you remember, they were doing trials on monkeys and stuff like that. There are a lot of companies right now. There are over 100 companies in trials right now. The key thing to take away from this, my people, is those of you who are worried about vaccines, all I will say to you guys is stay in touch with my platform, stay in touch with progress. Don't just take my platform as gospel. However, one thing I will say to you guys, I am committed to bringing you guys information. Me personally, my family personally, we will judge the vaccine that comes out or the vaccine we choose. However, the vaccine's a must, my people. I know a lot of people will disagree with me because it's all wrapped up with chips and microchips and Bill Gates and all of this. I don't see Bill Gates' hand in the Oxford trials, for example. The best advice I can give you guys on this platform is just stay informed. Don't just wake up one morning and hear on the news or look on your phone and so some mates have passed. The vaccine's out now. Oh, I told you that. Those people missed the portion that they should have kept in touch with, and that's what I'm trying to fill the gaps for you guys. So have a look at my first video on the progress report on vaccines.
Coronavirus vaccine trials are advancing quickly. Here now is CNN's Elizabeth Cohen. Some news on the vaccine front. The University of Oxford in England saying that they're already in phase 3 clinical trials. Those are the large-scale clinical trials where you really find out if the vaccine works. University of Oxford saying that along with the pharmaceutical company AstraZeneca, they will be doing a trial with 42,000 participants. Another company based in the United States, Moderna, based in Massachusetts, they say that they're going to do a trial with 30,000 people and that will begin next month. Now, this is what the National Institutes of Health wants to hear. They want large trials with around 30,000 people so they can make sure that the vaccine is truly safe and truly effective. But the issue is that it's the Food and Drug Administration that gives permission to vaccines to go on the market. And the FDA has not committed. They have not said we will require that there be trials in at least 30,000 people. That has some scientists worried that President Trump is going to put pressure on the FDA to put a vaccine on the market before it's been tested out on the full 30,000, just to have a vaccine and get votes in November. Shape how we deal with this pandemic. I want to bring in now.
Back, guys. Now, that was a quick update. You've heard what I said before the video. It's all about staying in touch, okay? I want to move on to the situation across the world a little bit. I'm just going to touch on a few things across the world and end with some good news information as well. The next video I want to share with you guys is what's happening in the US and the death toll and what Trump is still doing despite the death toll. Okay, so please take a look at this.
Close to 117,000 Americans have died from coronavirus. But President Trump and Vice President Pence are trying to spin that as a success. Pence, the head of the coronavirus task force, published an op-ed Tuesday that doctors say is riddled with misinformation. Here are the facts. This morning, 21 states are reporting an increase in new cases. 10 of those states are seeing a spike of 50% or more. Florida, Texas, and Arizona setting records for the most cases in a single day. Arizona and Texas also reporting a spike in hospitalizations. meaning more people are getting seriously sick. We don't know the number of hospitalizations in Florida or Oklahoma because their reporting is not shared in the same way. But local officials are concerned about what they're seeing.
You know what, guys? These guys really, I don't know. I mean, they're so used to their people being dumb that they just do anything and they think the rest of the world is dumb. Now, if you remember a couple of, the last time I done an update, I do believe that was either Thursday last week or Friday. And I brought you guys the update on COVID, global, go back to that video, global update on COVID-19. Now, I brought you guys the information that Trump's been advised not to have rallies. I mean, no sports is going ahead without an audience, okay? This guy wants to have a rally so bad because he's losing in the polls that he doesn't care about people's lives. So they decided to have they were meant to have a rally somewhere else. That town said, no, we're not gonna do this. It was a Democratic mayor in the city, but a Republican governor. Mayor said, I'm not having it in my city. So they've moved it to Tulsa, okay? Now, Oklahoma is suffering. So I'm gonna show you what these guys are saying. What's happening. They're telling people to literally sign away their lives, people. They're telling them to sign their lives away because they're telling them to sign a disclaimer that if they come to the rally and they catch COVID-19, don't blame Mr. Trump, don't blame the Trump campaign, and don't blame the government. It's your fault. Because of Trump and his pressure on them, they're allowing just his event to go ahead. Now tell me what dumb attendees are going to sign away their life. The mayor of this city, Oklahoma, where they're going to, he's not attending. He's not attending. He said, I'm not going to go, and I advise all 60-year-olds not to go.
Making this claim.
In most of the cases where we are seeing some marginal rising number, that's more a result of the extraordinary work you're doing, expanding testing.
But according to Harvard researchers, the United States needs to do at least 20 million tests per day to safely reopen by late July. The current rate is roughly 500,000 tests daily. And with the president still set to hold a campaign rally in Tulsa, Pence falsely claiming that numbers in Oklahoma are on the decline. Oklahoma has seen newly reported cases increase since late May. Now process this with me for just a second. If it's important for a president to communicate, to be briefed by his top infectious disease expert to make informed decisions during a pandemic, according to Dr. Fauci, he hasn't talked to President Donald Trump in 2 weeks. And Allison, that's according to a Fauci interview with NPR yesterday.
Yes, that was very interesting to hear and concerning. Rosa, thank you very much.
Welcome back. Now, this is the result of Mike Pence, the vice president, lying, President Trump lying, the people who are meant to be saving lives lying about the true circumstances. Take a look at this video.
She's one of 16 friends who tested positive after visiting a recently reopened bar in Jacksonville.
At the time, it was more out of sight, out of mind. We hadn't known anybody who had it personally. Governor, mayor, everybody says it's fine. We go out. It's a friend's birthday. It was a mistake.
So that was Florida. Now you can see from the videos, the states that are in trouble are the Republican states, the same states that were stubborn to shut down, but they are also the least visited states by people from outside of the US. Now their situation's starting because they didn't listen, and they could have, if they paid attention to New York, all of these red states, all of these Republican states that never shut down, they would have had a good run. They would have had a proper good result because it took time to get to them. Move on to a quick global roundup. Have a look, guys.
Tourism, as it reopens, CNN has reporters across the globe.
I'm Matt Rivers in Mexico, where there are two things happening right now. One, we are in the worst days of this outbreak so far, but two, the economy here is beginning to gradually reopen. And in some places, that means tourism, like on the Yucatan Peninsula. That's where there's famous resort towns like Cancun and Playa del Carmen. And in those places, some resorts have already reopened. Now, the U.S.-Mexico land border remains closed to all non-essential travel, but Americans can still fly to Mexico and go to those resorts. And the government here says it is safe for them to do so.
I'm Alex Thomas in Manchester, where, after 3 months, England's globally popular Premier League is back. COVID-19 meant it was called off back in March, on Friday the 13th no less, and it's been a real horror show for EPL officials since then. Faced with losing hundreds of millions of dollars of TV money, they had to wait until June before the UK government gave permission for the season to resume, with 92 games still to play, including...
I'm Matthew Chance, and Russia's president is being protected from coronavirus by a special disinfection tunnel his visitors must pass through. Footage on state media shows people being sprayed from all sides with what's described as a fine cloud of disinfectant that covers clothes and exposed upper body flesh. Well, there's no indication of how effective the Russian-made device is, but it underlines the extraordinary measures being taken to shield the leader of a country with more than 500,000 coronavirus cases.
Now, some worrying news that all of us should be worried about now. China is now got a second wave. The capital city, Beijing, now has a second wave. Why is that crucial? Why should we be worried about that? China did everything correctly. China has one of the lowest death tolls, even though it started from there. They were so aggressive about their lockdown that even now they're open, they're more on lockdown than when we was on lockdown. So for a country that did everything, in my opinion, perfectly in terms, I'm not saying they've done everything perfect, but in terms of controlling the virus, they were soldiers. They were top of the range in terms of that. If they can have a second wave, take a look.
Is canceling a majority of flights into and out of the country as the outbreak in the Chinese capital widens. CNN's Anna Corin is live in Hong Kong with details. And Anna, China we thought, had the worst of this behind it. It had begun to open up. Now it's going the other way. Tell us why. Yeah,
it's deja vu, Jim, for many people in Beijing. I mean, China's gone for more than 50 days without any reported cases, and now they have this outbreak, and there are fears that this could prompt a second wave. 137 cases, 31 new cases today, and they're all stemming from this food market, wholesale food market in the south of Beijing that provides something like 80% of the capital city's fresh produce. Beijing itself is now on this soft lockdown, which basically means that no one can really get out of the city. The only way that you can leave is by coming from a low-risk area and having a negative test. CCP, the Communist Party, working desperately to contain this outbreak so that it doesn't become a second wave, Alison.
Now to some good news, okay. Cuba their story is amazing. Let me tell you the story first. Let me show you the video and then I'll come back, okay? So take a look.
Caribbean to Italy during the worst of the outbreak, and now doctors from Cuba are heading home. And they were greeted with cheers and applause as they arrived at the airport. Well-wishers lined the streets of Havana as the doctors headed to quarantine. CNN's Patrick Ottman was there for the homecoming.
Cuban healthcare workers returning from fighting the coronavirus in Italy are receiving a hero's welcome upon arrival back here in Havana. There they are. They are 52 doctors, nurses, and organizers who since late March were in Italy, in the hardest-hit regions, fighting the coronavirus, and now have returned home, and they're being cheered on as they drive through the streets of Havana, and they're heading to an isolation center where they will spend the next 2 weeks in quarantine to make sure they did not bring the virus back home with them. This is one of what is called a medical brigade in Cuba. Cuba says now they have 27 of these brigades around the world helping to fight the coronavirus. This program is not without controversy, though, because the U.S. government says that these doctors are not paid enough, that they're used as propaganda by the Cuban government, which is that Cuba, as of Monday, has now gone 9 days without a reported death from the coronavirus.
Welcome back, guys. How many of you knew that Cuba was doing that? How many of you would have guessed that the old colony will send people out to help the old colonial masters. Spain was Cuba's colonial master. All the US could do was grudge, right? That's all they could do. Saying they're not paying them well. Who cares? They're happy. They were being applauded. Spain applauded them. Spain thanked them. When they were leaving Spain, they would thank you so much. And yet, America wants to be angry. You know why, guys? Let me tell you why. Once upon a time, when America was great, America used to do that. They used to send people out to help other countries. Then they elected a man called Donald J. Trump. And then America became less great, and America became a banana republic. So now other nations are helping America out. Without further ado now, I'm just going to say my goodbyes, and I'll see you guys. I'm doing them 50 minutes now, so I'll see you guys on tomorrow's video. Take care and have a fantastic day. Okay?